think in terms of how they can execute this, the thing that Catherine does bring to the table is the ability to at least lock one of them down, whether it's when Blackfeather goes in, stop him in his tracks, throw Oblivion down, try to sleep Lance, try to get Sky, try to get somebody, so while you're locking one person down, you can try to burst them. But the biggest thing it does is requires them to try to block her ultimate. It just adds a whole nother level of difficulty for the roam on the...
She just needs to sit there with no health, wait for this Blackfeather come in, just look for that execute.
Fresh in my head. Alright, well let's head on to the housing unfold, ladies and gentlemen, for Hammer's Velocity versus Kinetic, Game 3, the final game of the series, to see who makes it to Day 2. Let's pass it on over to Forecourt Jester and Tasty Bacon. Meow.
Once more back into the fold as we got game number 3. A lot of game number 3s here today, Bacon, but it's always a good time. And once again, we see Blackfeather and we see Zeo on this Sky. And Bacon,
you know, it helps if I unmute my microphone.
Absolutely.
They are, yeah, the very similar compositions to game number 1. Mixie returning to the Samuel, and well, Samuel versus Sky matchup in the lane did not go very well for Mixie in previously, so he's obviously going to be hoping for a significantly better performance, and well, hasn't died within the first minute and a half or so, so already a bit of an improvement.
All right, we're on the up and up. Everything's coming up Mixie now, but Cole is here, and Cole is a rumor. There's been a lot of opinions about him on this one, but a double root to start things off from Veins on that Lance. Took a wild guess that they were sitting there because they definitely weren't in lane, and got paid out a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very low risk, high reward impale to throw. If it hits, well, you get a ton of damage down. If it misses, well, then it means there's nobody in there to punish you. So what does it matter?
3 for 3. Sorry, yeah. 3 for 3. Pawn the original. That's something that I don't think we've gotten to see in any of these matches today, where somebody gets the same hero 3 games in a row.
Yeah, usually teams either change it up by choice or by force. But Castrol has not been heavily prioritized by Velocity, and Kinetic, they've obviously been very much a big fan of it. Fuji has his opinions on putting so much emphasis onto that hero, but Upon the Original definitely has been playing very well with it. Maybe not 100% the way that he's been wanting to. I feel like there's been a lot of times where he hasn't been able to get the active camos down that in positions that he really wants, and Velocity's been doing a great job playing around that, but here they come.
Yeah, Cole's looking for a stun, but it doesn't actually quite get it there on top of Veins. But Veins is just going to sacrifice himself, leave Zeo to live another day. And that's actually, again, a little bit of a change of pace. Kinetic are the ones with first blood this round.
Yeah, that's definitely a big change from the previous 2 games, as it was typically Velocity getting off to the early start. And Kinetic, they're obviously going to be hoping they can keep that up and get themselves a nice lead here in the first few minutes of the game and just try and snowball that through.
Alright, so Cole up in lane, just keeping Mixie some company. Kestrel at this point does not need a bodyguard, and with Cole there, is just able to stack up his passive armor and shield as often as he can with the Merciless Pursuit. That's sort of the name of the game right now. Keep Mixie safe. And it's working out.
Yeah, absolutely. 3.5 minutes, still no deaths for Mixie or anyone on Kinetic. Maybe speaking too soon, though.
Yeah, there's the stun after the camo. We did get the Treant there for Pawn, so he's sitting very healthy. And Veins once more going to be down real low, goes a different way, and will be the prey.
Yeah, that's that sacrificial lamb play. This time, Kinetic take advantage of it. If you recall, back in Game 1, a similar situation happened, and carries of Kinetic opted to go chasing the carries of Velocity, and it nearly ended up with the escape of Veins and nothing going their way. So they decided to take the kill and then try and use that death to make plays in the jungle. And Pon, he's going to get a couple jungle camps, will be going down here as it's 3-on-1, but got the backs, and I believe he got the Treant as well, so absolutely worth it.
Yeah, 100% worth on that one, because now he also has a shortcut back to his own side. As long as we keep vision here, and there's push superiority. Kinect's not going to get surprised. We do take away the fronts. Mixi is able to farm them out. And at the same time, looks like Cole might be a target, but there's not much Vanes can do against the captain this early on.
Yeah, not really. Catherine, while Catherine is fairly weak at the level 1, level 1, level 2, has a couple of defensive items now, has a couple of levels, but I want to point out Koldamik is actually maxing the Merciless Pursuit as opposed to the Storm Guard. A lot of times you see players try and max the Storm Guard, the shield, so that they can reflect extra damage and have a lower damage threshold for the reflect. But right now, he's just really optimizing the stun. You get a little bit longer stun duration, and I believe a little bit shorter cooldown, and it works off right, pays off right there.
Yeah, stun into just a barrage of arrows upon the originals and his glimmer shots, no problem. They take down Zio, and this is a very strange change of pace for Zio. He's down 0-1. He's not leading by a significant amount when it comes to the last hits, 49 to the 44. But we do got some last hits kind of being stored up for him here. Vanes gets a return damage on top of Cole. That's about it for them. It's really, again, the pawn show at this point. He is 44 farm bacon. Comparing that to Aloha sitting at 28.
Well, that's not too much different from game number 1, where upon the original kind of ran the jungle against this Blackfeather. Aloha once again rushing the Shiver Steel, but the only difference between right now and this position in game number 1 is that Mixi has done a significantly better job in lane as far as not going down. It is still Zio with a CS advantage over Mixi in the lane, which is why the gold is only at 1,000 difference. One shot is going to stop Zio there, and force him to have to change his position a bit. Before, is he even going to recall? He's he's thinking about it, but isn't entirely sure.
Yeah, he's chucking some potions. He knows that there's a creep wave coming in. He doesn't want to miss it. Vanes is here to help make it happen. And, well, I mean, when you got it, you got it. That's going to be a death from above on the minion wave just to ensure that he does not fall behind in farm.
Yeah, just making sure he clears out those minions and can get the recall as quickly as possible. So he will be able to finish off the Broken Myth. Mixi doing the same. However, in the jungle, on the original, still looking for his first tier 3 item. And obviously, Aloha, as we mentioned earlier, has the Shiver Steel. There's the Sorrow Blade for Pawn, and now they're going to make a trip up to lane.
Yeah, and Vanes is just going to be right in there between the Drifting Dark and the Oblivion. There's not really a safe place to sit. But that was a 2v3, and again, it looks like Kinetic actually got the better of the trades. Aloha's going to run straight into Pawn, but they're having a little bit of a discussion on which way he really wants to go. Pawn's not even going to throw an arrow out at him, and now Pawn's just going to be circling around and picking up the farm. So might not be the kills, he's definitely getting the farm. He does have that Sorrow Blade now, Bacon, and Zio, he might be leading that lane, but this game is definitely looking more and more Kinetic as time goes on.
And well, Aloha is jumping in onto Mixi in the lane. They went aggressive onto Zio, but Aloha now is going to be the one perhaps paying for it, as they are going to trade out 1-for-1 with Pawn the Original coming up into the lane. Looks like that's all it's going to be.
If the one shot had hit, might have been a bit of a different story, but getting a 1-for-1 as soon as Aloha went ham, he was committing. And getting the 1-for-1 is probably the best he could have actually hoped for right there. But Pawn did actually rotate, and again, taking up the jungle, puts him actually more farm than Mixi.
Yeah, it's Pawn the Original has just been owning this jungle. Both sides of it have been getting farmed up by this Kestrel, and you can see evidence by, like you said, 67 CS, whereas Mixi has 61. Aloha at 35 is really hurting for gold at this point in time. If they look to make any more aggressive plays and try and keep him down even harder, looks like instead they're going to turn their attention towards this gold mine. 9 minutes means it's a full payout, but here comes Velocity.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Nope, it's going to get stolen. Vanes and that Impale making it happen. Cole with the silence, but not entirely too sure we can close the gap here. Aloha can just go right over the wall if he really needs to, and Vanes is there with the Githian, so let's just turn it around and look for a fight. Pawn is the target. He's way too far forward. Aloha and Vanes can take a little bit of a nap, and Aloha will still be able to use that Rose Offensive to get to safety.
Oh, and this is turning into a disaster for Kinetic, because here comes Zio. not only was the gold mine stolen away, but they give up an ace in the process.
The rage ult from Cole. That's what it really felt like right there. Just like, no! Boom! And unfortunately baited the rest of the team to their death. So, talk about a reversal right there of fortune, my friend. Velocity take turret, ace, and gold mine. Puts them up a K&5.
Yeah, that was a huge swing in favor of Velocity, and maybe just what they needed to get this game going in their favor, because upon the original had been just dominating this jungle, and this, even now just clearing out the minion lane. Zio going to take a bit of damage here. One shot, not going to find the mark, and now here comes Velocity.
Yeah, Vayne's just kind of keeping that front line, sort of as a front line. Kinetic had no retreat out of that one. Unfortunately, the Death from Above does not combo very well, so all that work there from Vayne's still actually might pay off. We get the root from the Githian. They're on top of Mixi, and Zio gets the Suri. And that is going to be a death for the Samuel there.
And Zio starting to come into his own once more with the Sky Aloha, starting to be a damage threat as he is looking to finish off that Serpent's Mask. And when the abilities connect, it is just devastating for Kinetic. As here comes Pon, and it feels like they're just constantly looking for fights just for the sake of fighting, which I'm not too sure if that's the best idea for them. Cole's going to hold this wave, taking a lot of damage as a result. He will then dealt with a lot of gold going to Mixi.
Yeah, good on Cole there, not taking it, just making sure that it does not go too far. Mixi comes out, it's going to go straight back in, does pick up that Eva Harvest, so he is on this 2-item spike. Zio seems a little bit farther ahead at this point, but he does have his 2. Aloha, very similar build to Game 1, very likely looking at a little bit of armor and perhaps those tier 3 boots. That seems to be the trend we're seeing with our Black Feathers today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very powerful build. It takes a while to ramp up, but it's a very defensive build. You just get yourself to be really difficult to take down in a fight, and then you grab yourself a breaking point at some point in your build path, and all of a sudden you become this huge damage threat that is very difficult to take down, and you can start winning fights for your team, especially when combined with Zio's Sky, because he has just been on a tear with it.
Baines is sitting very pretty there as that roam. Kolamik a little behind, I want to say, maybe a lot behind, depending on who you want to ask. But no Crucible there for this side. Not entirely too sure they really need one, but the route into the Death from Above combo is certainly something of fierce contention. Cole did pick up the treads very quickly, though. That's something that Baines does not have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cole's going to be going for the Atlas Pauldron, so there really isn't even much of a...
That's a dead pawn.
Yeah. I was not sure what Pon was hoping to accomplish there, but now with it being 1 kill down, I think Zio just Suri struck into a wall, but it is just going to be another advantage going towards Velocity as they start up the gold mine while Zio keeps the members of Kinetic distracted.
That was actually a really nice dodge from Mixi. Does not get hit by that Death from Above, but Zio's actually still here, and he's still taking damage. Mixi, you got boots? No, 120 seconds, 1 shot to come through. Cole is gonna look for it, but we have the block there, and Zio will live to fight another day. This gold mine, however, was started up. Aloha's not looking so healthy here. This could be the revenge gold mine for Kinetic.
Yeah, they should be able to take this one unless Vaynes gets another steal, because Zio cannot stay for this. He's gonna go down, and that is going to be a shutdown and an immense gold payout going to Kinetic, and just like that, this gold lead is back down to about 1,000 gold.
Yeah, maybe some crossed wires on what exactly needed to be done there, or maybe we just underestimated the tankiness of Aloha. It doesn't actually have any armor.
Overestimated.
Underestimated, overestimated. I mean, it depends on your viewpoint. But you're right. It is an overestimation.
Yeah, it was.
You need some armor, man. You need some armor.
Well, not only that, but he was just. I don't think he was expecting to be soloing Gold Miner for so long. I think they were just expecting Zio to go up into the lane, find a kill or two, and then immediately have Vaynes and Zio rotate back down to help finish that one off. But either way, it's a path back into this game for Kinetic, even if it was sort of paved for them. We'll see if they can capitalize on this. On the original, looking for that 3rd item, the Tyrant's Monocle is the most likely choice here based on the items he's got. But across the board, Zio, 3 offensive items. Mixi, same story. You look at Aloha, he has that Serpent's Mask and is very close now to getting himself the breaking point as well.
So Mixi is able to still go toe-to-toe with items despite being down 40 CS, nearly losing out the race to max CS here up against Pawn, and down in kills and overall down in gold. It's a very resilient laner that Kinetic has here.
Yeah, well, it's, I mean, with those 3 items, there is still the reflex block that Zio has over him. That's really about it, though. It's still, and actually tier 2 boots as well. Mixi only sitting on tier 1, so there is a bit of gold there. That's about 1,000 gold difference between the two, just on the items they currently have. As everyone pretty much starting to go towards those infusions. All 3 members of Kinetic have one active. It is only Zio that has one up, but Aloha and actually Vaynes does not have enough money for one, but Aloha does, and he's going to grab one.
Yeah, that's a miss on the impale from Vaynes. We're just kind of playing flare wars at this point, clearing out scout traps as we can. We have an infusion on Zio and an infusion on Aloha, and, well, triple on the side here of Kinetic. Whoever does win this fight can take a huge momentum swing at this game, and with that drifting dark, Kinetic, they're trying to commit to this one. Cole, though, does get the stun, and it's enough to bring down Zio in one go. There's the silence. Vaynes gonna split to the side. Aloha gets slept up, and that's Rose offensive. It's not gonna go anywhere. Vaynes didn't go over the wall, did he?
Oh, he tried to impale over the wall and didn't get it, and that is going to be an ace for Kinetic all of a sudden. Huge engage from Cole. Finding the stun onto Zio, he did not get the reflex block up in time, and Zio was just deleted the moment that stun connected. And now it's going to be the first turret destroyed, Kraken getting captured, and this is just a nightmare situation for Velocity.
Infusions, man. Infusions matter. Infusions did a lot of work right there. Vaynes, unfortunately, when that first pass at an impale did not hit. That opened up the window a little bit. There was a good cooldown on that. Mixi in the drifting dark and the stun from Cole. It was beautiful. Not over yet, though, Big, because there's still quite a few turrets to cleave right through, but when it comes to some momentum, Kinetic is definitely riding the wave.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Momentum favors Kinetic right now, but as we've already seen in this series alone, momentum doesn't really mean a whole lot. But they're going in onto Zio. Aren't able to find that kill.
Alright, so Cole, there's the silence, and Aloha, he's gonna get slapped up. Mixi should be able to bring him down. It's on in the back instead. He gets the double. He's not even taking out a turret, and he is not afraid for an arrow to the back. That will be a triple then from Pawn. It's all about the Poncho Bacon, and this could be some major damage, if not the game right here.
It very well could be the game. They are going to get the respawns, but it's a very similar situation to what we saw earlier in this series. Kinetic are onto these turrets. They're not even waiting for the Kraken. Kraken is now onto this bottom turret, but here come the respawns.
Yeah, Mixi's going to be taking up a lot. Death from above brings him and Pawn down. Cole is going to be making a beeline on out of there. And as he keeps saying, an ace at this point of the game wouldn't be the worst. Cole, unfortunately, not much to add to a Kraken. No crown, not really an offensive hero here. So the game will continue, but that was a 4-turret sweep.
4 turrets taken out. It is an exposed vein crystal. However, as Humanist would say, teams play about 10 to 20% worse. I believe that's the number. He'll correct me if it was a higher number.
You're the numbers man, Bacon. You're supposed to know this.
But this is theoretical numbers. This isn't actual numbers. But teams play worse when they have a exposed crystal that they're up against, or at least have a tendency to. So for the side of Kinetic, have to hope that they just stay focused and look to close this one out.
Well, if there's anything that is probably not going to happen, is that Zio's not going to let himself get caught out there. No reflex, no crucible from Vaynes on that engage, and this is where you learn. This is where you have to learn. Last time, Vaynes didn't throw out that flare, they lost the game, but they have a bit of a chance to come back out of this one. Pawn is motoring on through.
Oh
they don't know.
God.
They totally know. Okay, Mixi is not only going to find, or he is only going to find Vaynes. Might even be a kill right there. Pawn just curved right back down, and the fake is good.
And that being said, it forced the recalls, and they've gotten half of Vaynes' health down, possibly even more, but he's going to get silenced now. Pawn is on the backside. He gets found by a scout trap.
Yeah, the scout trap ruining Pawn's day. He's going to be questioning that one. Rip.
Scout traps save lives. Scout traps save games. As
Good
now
roll.
Velocity 2 versus 3. They can go ahead and take a Kraken for themselves. Oh, that's exactly what Humanist is talking about, though. When a team
Sloppy
has an
plays.
exposed Crystal, they get it in their head that they have to make this ridiculous heroic play to try and bait out their opponents or something like that, and it just ends up completely blowing up in their face.
I'm going to have to go read up on my Art of the Throw because that sounds like a very interesting chapter, but this is now going to be a Kraken coming down the other way. There is no steals available. Pawn not even going to be alive, let alone attempting a one-shot, one-kill. So infusions abound here, Bacon. We got 3 items there on Zeo with some armor. Still no armor for Aloha, but he is basically coming up upon that full build.
That being said, all Kinetic needs to do is win a fight. They don't have to worry about Kraken whatsoever. As Kraken comes in, they can just ignore her and go for a fight. If they find a team fight victory, they can just go end the game regardless of what Kraken does. So they are going to do some damage onto Kraken just to, obviously, if they can't find a fight, you still need to take out Kraken. But there's the fight.
Oh, that got blocked up right there from Veins. That could actually be the saving grace because the Kraken will still push through. They might get another turret, but that's going to be the route. They're looking for Pawnee, taking a lot of damage, but we also block out that Oblivion with the combat roll. Good job there, Veins.
Kraken taking a lot of damage just on that first turret alone. And so Velocity not really going to get a whole lot off of this push. It's only going to be the one turret. And Kinetic say thank you very much for the gold. They are going to be able to afford at least their next infusion. As Pawn the Original finishes off an Aegis. There's an Aegis. Aegis is all around, it looks like. Everyone picking one up as Aloha got one, Cole got one, Pawn got one.
Look at this vision,
all
Bacon.
around.
Look at this vision. This is an absolute minefield of scout traps.
Well, they need to because of that exposed crystal. I mean, they already saw Pawn try and do a sneaky play once. They need to make sure that they have vision all over the place in order to ensure that it will not happen. Plus, also just knowing where your opponent is such a huge thing this late in the game when one team fight could decide it.
Alright, 3 items here on Pawn. Will he live long enough to actually make it matter? Zeo's a little bit split here, gets caught up a bit. Veins now thinking, alright, forward, backwards, they do not know where they want to go, but that is going to be that silence going through. Veins does get the root up, and Veins is dead on the floor. Zeo, with that death from above, not even going to be close to Kinetic. And now we have to split Aloha and Zeo 2 different ways. Koldamik, is he actually too far in? Aloha tries his hand, gets hit real hard. Mixi's still doing the damage, and Cole is going to survive.
Ava is Mixi. Mixi's getting taken down very low. Pawn is going for the base. Oh my goodness, he needs is trying to slay these recalls, but it's not going to be enough. There goes Mixi. There goes Cole.
Doesn't matter, he's dead,
but
man.
Pawn has got the base, and he has got the crystal. The backdoor works. Kinetic take the victory and take the series. Their hopes of worlds are well and truly alive.
Now, what does this mean for Velocity, Mr. Numbers, man?
Well, Velocity is now sitting at 1 point, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot for them because they already have a world spot locked in.
Lol, 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 lol. Alright.
They're basically in the same boat as Avalanche over in Europe at this point.
God, that is such a strange statement to hear. World champions, ex-world champions, these guys have been to the top of the top, and they're all sitting at 1 point. Very strange stuff, but a very fun and interesting game. Game 3 really delivering here, Bacon. So that was definitely a treat. 12 kills apiece by the end of it. And let's go see what the analysts have to say because we got to get this show on the road.